Hi friends, have you always wanted to try making your own homemade spaghetti sauce? Well, if you have, my husband has agreed to share his homemade sauce with you all. Now, he wouldn't let me film him. I got his hands in there, but he's like, I don't want to be in those videos. But he agreed to go ahead and make our homemade meatballs and homemade sauce and show you step by step. There is not a ton of ingredients in this sauce, and I think that's why I like it. When I eat red sauce, it tears me up. I have a very difficult time, but for some reason, his sauce is just perfect. I can eat it. I don't get sick on my stomach. It doesn't bother me. And like I said, he said, yeah, he'll go ahead and share it. I will put the recipe in the description box of this video because at some point he does kind of just do it by feel, I guess, when it comes to adding like the salt and pepper in there. But I will have a more detailed recipe in the description box for you guys to follow. His mom has been making this recipe. I mean, you know, my husband and I are in our 50s, and his mom's been making this since he was a little kid. And apparently, they had a friend, and I don't remember what country they were from now. Oh my goodness, I do not remember. It wasn't Italy, I know that. I'm not sure what country it was. I think he was having a hard time remembering. But the friend of theirs shared this recipe with them. So this recipe has been around probably for 80 plus years. It is so simple, very few ingredients. Because when you think of it, you're thinking like there's tons of parsley or basil and stuff like that in there, and it's not. So if you have been thinking about wanting to make a sauce, this is a great sauce to make because, as I said, it's very easy on your stomach and there are few ingredients in this, but yet it really tastes delicious. The meatballs, we make the meatballs and we cook them in the sauce, and then I will freeze everything at the end, put it in our deep freezer, and when we need sauce, I just take it out, and I will share how I do the freezing of my sauce as well at the end of this video. So I hope you guys stick around and watch this. And Randy, I'm dedicating this to you. I know you've been waiting for this video to come out for a very long time. So friends, I'm going to go ahead and share it with you. We started really early in the morning, like around 8:30 or something like that. It takes like at least 6-7 hours to make this sauce. It is an all-day thing, so you have to be prepared to be home all day, to be stirring constantly. You know, my husband got up and he started, and I come down, I'm filming, so you won't see much of us in the video because we were a hot mess that morning. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking and let you start watching the video. Okay, so we're gonna get started here. So for our meatballs, we have ground beef. I am going to be using 4 pounds of ground beef. You definitely want to make sure that you get at least 88% lean, nothing less than that. We are going to be using some Italian breadcrumbs, pepper, a whole onion, and 2, 4, 6, 8 eggs. This is going to be the ingredients for our meatballs, and we are quadrupling the recipe. And then over here are the ingredients for the sauce. Now, before I get started, I wanted to say, back there is our tomato puree. And as you can see, I have a bag of tomato on top. We normally, we normally make our sauce with our homemade grown tomatoes. This year my tomato garden was an absolute bust, and that is all the tomato that I got out of my garden, unfortunately, other than the few that we use like for sandwiches. So we had to buy the big can of tomato puree. It's 106 ounces, but normally we use the tomato from my garden that I plant every year, but like I said, it was a total bust. So we are using tomato puree, but obviously we normally use my tomatoes and then we just put it in the blender. Garlic, salt, oregano, We have tomato paste. We have what, 4, 5, 6, 8 cans of tomato paste. I have 4 onion, and then I have 2, 4, 6, 8 cans of tomato sauce. And normally we buy the really large can of tomato sauce, like that can of tomato puree that I have. But unfortunately, y'all know our situation that we're in, and it's hard to find things, so we can only find the smaller cans. So that's why I have so many small cans. So these are the ingredients that we use. This is all for our sauce. So as hubby's making it, I'll let you know what he's putting in. As I said, this is a quadruple batch. When we make it, we'll end up freezing it. And that's the ingredients for the meatballs. Okay, we're putting in a cup of Italian breadcrumbs. Going ahead and putting the 8 eggs in the bowl. Now we're adding the salt and pepper. Do you have any idea how much you're putting in there? You just kind of... He's just kind of winging it, friends. He just knows because he's been making it for years. Already chopped the onion for the ground beef, or for the meatballs, and here I'm just chopping the onion for the tomato sauce. Oh, that one wouldn't go through. It wasn't strong enough. Alright, so here we have these extra large baking sheets. He always sprinkles it with salt so the meatballs do not stick. And there are the meatballs. Here's his little recipe paper. And I will put that in the description box, but you can see it's been around for a long time. So here he is making the meatballs. Friends, I did want to mention I was using the chopper, and I was just cutting it in half, and the onion in half instead of in quarters, and my onions got a little bit long. I wanted them a little bit smaller than that, and I had already dumped them in the ground beef before I realized what I had done, so I just want to make a note of that. I do like them a lot finer, like this. This is the way you really want it. I just kind of wasn't thinking when I did it, and then it was a little bit too late. It's fine for the meatballs, but definitely make sure they're a lot finer than what I have right here. Alright friends, my last one for this tray. I do have 2 of these trays, so I am going to grab the other one. So they're going to go in I'm going to put this tray in the oven right now on 350 for 25 minutes. And then while that's in the oven, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the next tray. Okay, so all of my meatballs, this is my second tray, they are done. We still have a few minutes left on the other tray that's in the oven. Hubby is opening the tomato paste and putting that in the container, and then we'll add the rest of the ingredients. Alright, my friends, so there goes the big can. The smaller cans are already in there. Just going to go ahead and add the seasonings, and when the meatballs are done, we're going to go ahead and add them in the sauce. Alright, so all of the tomato paste and tomatoes and sauce has all been added, and then the onion has been added. We're about 2 minutes out with our meatballs, and then we're going to put the next tray in. So we have two tablespoons of oregano. How much salt you put in, hon?
2 teaspoons.
And 2 teaspoons of salt. And then we're going to go ahead and put the garlic in.
Garlic, this is equivalent of 12 cloves of garlic.
So 12 cloves of garlic. We use the minced garlic in the jar that we buy from Costco. So it's equivalent of 12 cloves of garlic. Alright, my friends. Meatballs, the first batch, done. Oh, look at that. Do they look delicious or what? Now we're going to go ahead and put in our next batch for 20 minutes. 25. Oh, I put those in for 20. 25 minutes. Guess what, friends? I messed up. They need to go in for 25 minutes. Not 20. So, let's put these back in for an extra 5 minutes. Alright, my friends, the timer is going off. So we are going to take these out of the oven. There we go. Now, they look a little bit better than the first time, even though the first time looked yummy. Now we're going to go ahead and stick the other batch in real quick for 25 minutes. Alright, let's get that started. This time I'm putting it on the right amount. All that extra little stuff, all the little pieces and all, you want all that in your sauce. Get that. Oh. I'm going to scrape all that up and get it in the sauce. I'll see all that extra. That's what we want in the sauce. See the bottom of those, friends? Does that look delicious? We want all that goodness in there. See that? All that goes in there. Goodness off of the tray. I'm going to put that in there as well. Just like that. Alright, move the tray out of the way. We're going to give this a good stir. Like I said, we had the other tray in the oven still, so when that's done, that will go in here as well. And then at that point, it's just a slow simmer all day long. Alright, that's mixed up, and then when the next batch comes out, we'll add that in as well. Okay, the second batch is done. I wish you guys could smell in here right now. Oh, it's so delicious smelling. Alright, we are going to go ahead, do the same thing that we did for our first batch. We're just going to scrape all this up, and you do want that little goodness right there to go in the pot as well. And then this is the last of the items that'll be going in the pot, and then it's just going to cook all day long. Now we're just going to go ahead and give this a quick stir. I did a quick stir right before I put these in as well. Get these all mixed up. Alright. And there it is, friends. Just on a low simmer. Can you hear it bubbling? You do need to stir this frequently. This isn't something you can put in and just walk away. See how it's on the side there? You want to make sure that you scrape the side down as well when you stir it each time. You want to make sure you get on the bottom as well, because you don't want it to burn on the bottom. So you kind of want to make sure that you're taking your spoon and scraping the bottom of that pan as you're stirring really well. Okay. And also, I thought I would show you quickly how low the flame is. You see how low that flame is? It's very, very low. And this will just cook all day. Alright, my friends, so just a little check-in. We're about 2.5 hours later. And one thing I probably should mention, this stuff does splatter. This is what this area looks like. It's on the stove. I'm not quite sure what happened there. I don't know if my husband dropped something or if it splattered. I'm thinking he did that one. That looks like a lot to be splattered. Oh my goodness. But this does, even like on the microwave, I don't know, it's kind of hard to see it. It splatters up on the microwave. So this does splatter. So if I always keep a hand towel there, always take that off because it gets messed up. So just a FYI. And I'm going to go ahead and give this another stir. Okay, friends, it's been on for a couple hours now. I don't know if you can see, it's starting to get a little bit chunkier now. It's not as liquidy as before. Hope you guys can get a good view of that. And I wish you could smell what the house smells like. Oh, it smells so good in here. Alright, my friends, it is done. We cooked this for about a total of 6 hours. And that's what it looks like. Put your meatballs in there, and then I will package this up and we will freeze it. So we are going to have spaghetti for dinner, just a quick spaghetti with some meatballs, and then after dinner I will go ahead and package this up for the freezer, and I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so I have my sauce here. We finished dinner and I'm going to go ahead and package it up for the freezer. Now, I bought these little containers off of Amazon and they work great. This is a 16-ounce container. and it's perfect for the sauce. And then I have these containers here. These are 32 ounces, and what I like about them is the lids fit them as well, so you're not searching for lids trying to figure out what the heck's going on. So I will put my meatballs in there with a little bit of sauce, and then my sauce in here, and then freeze it. And on these lids, I got these on Amazon, it says date and contents. So what I usually do, I do this after the fact, but I'm going to do it now for you guys. So I put on the date, and then I will write meatballs, and then I usually do 10 in a container, and I will write 10 on there, that. So I will go ahead then and just go in and start getting my meatballs, and I'll put 10 of them in here. Actually, I'm going to do 12 meatballs instead of 10. I think I did 10 the last time when I had, the last time I did it, I only ended up with 10. So I'm going to do 12 meatballs in here. And I will write 12 on there instead of 10. There we go. This is in Sharpie, but I use my magic eraser to get it off when it's time to clean it. So then I just go ahead, put my lid on there, make sure it's nice and tight. Just like that. And then get the air out. There we go. And then I just put that in the freezer, just like that. And what I like about these containers, they stack well in the freezer. I prefer square containers or rectangular shaped over round because it uses all that space in your freezer or refrigerator. You don't have a gap when they're butted up against each other. And I just put sauce in here. Now we normally don't eat, usually when we make a batch, we'll eat meatballs, spaghetti and meatballs with that first batch that we make, and then usually it's meatball subs with the rest of the meatballs. I usually do Italian sausage in my meatball, in my spaghetti. So I am going to go ahead and get this all done. And then I'll show you how many I get. And there's like a little line on here that tells you to fill it to that line. I actually think I used a lot of these here for freezing leftover chicken broth. I think I have like 5 of those in the freezer with chicken broth in them, so I may end up having to use some different containers to freeze the sauce since we've done a very, very large batch. We'll have to see. I'm guessing I will for sure. I think I'll do is the meatballs first and see if I have any of the larger containers left. Alright my friends, so this is it. This is all of my containers of sauce out of that big pot. So I ended up getting, actually I need to change that. I ended up getting 11 meatballs in there. Have 12 meatballs in those 3, and then I needed more containers for sauce, so I used those 2 big 32 ounces. And then I went ahead and used these 16 ounce ones, and then this one miscellaneous container that I had because I ran out. So this is how I store my
sauce, I am waiting for it to cool down. It still is a little bit warm, so once it cools down, I'll put the lid on it, make sure all the air is out, and then I'll take it down and put it in the freezer in the basement. So that is our process on how to make homemade sauce.
All right, my friends, well, there it was. Was that easy or what? Like I said, it does take all day to make it, but it's simple ingredients, very, very easy to make. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the little like button. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please, please, please consider subscribing, as it does greatly help me out. It allows me to continue to make these videos and share with you. So friends, also don't forget to check me out over on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. I am very active on Facebook and Instagram. I post all kinds of stuff over there. So go ahead and make sure you check me out. Everything's under Mama Needs a Goal. Friends, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.